Okay. Well, it is April 26th, 2022. It's a Tuesday. And I don't know, I was kind of postponing starting to record something with no plans, no agenda, no anything in mind really to talk about. But I was just kind of postponing because I wanted to see how the light would be again. Still at the light source over there, that, you know, that giant, large, ball of gas floating out in space, uh, millions of miles away. And then I've got this mirror, which is only a couple feet away. And, between the light originating there, crossing, vast, you know, distance of space and time, taking about, I think, was it 8 to 10 minutes at light speed to get all the way over here, and then it hits there, and then hits there, reflects off here, and yeah, it captures technology, and its existence and reality and perception, and oh my gosh, it's convoluted and complicated. But then here we are, being able to be aware of the passage of time, and aware of thought and self, and how temporary all of it is, and even that, nothing about this anything is going to be new. Somebody else has imagined it before. Somebody else has thought these thoughts before. The only thing that's different is the context. That's my position on it, is the context keeps changing because the world keeps changing. And so these are these are thoughts imagined into a new reality. And so I can only give my personal take based on what it's been like to grow up and exist, live in this context. And it doesn't mean that it's a good context or a better context or the right context or the only context. It's just this is the one I know. And I am used to, for all its troubles and problems and inconveniences, and it's like I don't really notice it so much because that's what I'm used to. So take me out of here and put me someplace else. It would take me a while to acclimatize. Or somebody else coming into this situation, it's just, culture shock. It's taken me a while, a few years, just to get used to this area, because I'm not from here. I didn't grow up here. And I'm essentially alone in a foreign land, basically. And I've just adapted, I guess, or gotten used to it. And I've just kind of staked out and claimed my own identity and rhythm, and just gone with it. And I don't know, it seems to be working. I mean, I do have issues. That hasn't, no matter where I go or what I do, I'll always have issues. I take me with me wherever I go, and that used to be more of a problem. Now it's just more of a reality. It's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just a real thing. And nowadays it's better. It's different, but it's better. And I guess in other ramblings. The new person at work, her first day will be on Thursday, and I mentioned, I think yesterday, that it's like I already know who she is and a little bit about her. She's a nice person, but I am concerned about how she'll deal with the situation. Hope she does well. I'll support her however I can, so she succeeds or excels or has a chance at least. I don't want her to get too overwhelmed and angry, or and then just have to quit, because everybody thinks that the job is relatively simple, but there's a lot more to it than what most people think. The person that's leaving, yeah. So anyway, that's why a lot of people, they didn't want the job. I'm not the only one that turned it down. I've talked to a person yesterday about it, and I talked to a person today about it. It's like, I don't know in what order or how many people they approached, but there was more than a few people that were approached and said no. And I'm sure each one of us had our own take on why. And it's just like amount of responsibility, the time, the stress. I mentioned today about the learning curve. It's like, yeah, probably could figure out a way to have it work and not have it take too much time or take over somebody's life, but it would take at least a few months, at least a year to get into it, and all the problems that are going to happen that we don't even know about between now and then, logistics and supply chain and personnel, just in that transitionary period where things are just not going smoothly. And that can just, and all that fault and blame that people are just looking to, it's like as soon as anything goes wrong, it's like, well, whose fault is it? It's like, it's more important than actually addressing the problem is to make sure we figure out whose fault it is. That doesn't help anything. And a lot of it is that whole causation versus correlation issue. Or if something like, I noticed it just the other day, a display that was slightly damaged in some way finally collapsed under its own weight and fell over. And a bunch of product just kind of went over with it. Didn't make too much of a mess. But I looked over and saw, and it was like, okay, it's not leaking, it's not spilling. It's just kind of it's just going to sit there unless customers run into it. But I'm just going to finish what I'm doing. And then I'll go over, and if no one else has gotten there first, I'll try to see what I can do, assess the situation. And it took me like 30 seconds, so I wasn't in that much of a hurry because it looked like it was okay. And yeah, it's not an emergency on my part. And I figured, since it's not in my area, maybe somebody else who they would stumble across it, but no. So I did go over, and within like 15-20 seconds of me being over there starting to clean it up, one of the co-managers wandered over and made some sort of comment about me knocking it over because I was there by it. So obviously I must have done it because I was the one cleaning it up. I like to think that maybe I took it the wrong way, and she didn't mean it like that, that she just meant to be funny or something. But it sure did sound like she was assigning fault without any understanding of the situation. And it just kind of like, I just didn't appreciate it. It was a little bit of a disrespect. And also it felt like an accusation of clumsiness or incompetence, which I'm not so much a fan of. Unless it's due, unless I've earned it. Because I do earn my fair share. And all I can do is own it when it does happen and try to make fun of myself and admit fault. And But I don't like it being placed on me, projected onto me, attributed onto me, piled up on me, because I have enough to deal with already. So it's just one of those things that I was next to the thing, and I was in the process of cleaning it up, and it's like I didn't, yeah. So anyway, but as far as the new job is concerned, I'm still glad that I didn't accept, and I think I'm still in the running for it, because if it doesn't work out with this new person and they just decide that it's not for them, then they still will be like looking to the next person, trying to find a replacement, and I am still somewhere on a list, a mental list, because I wouldn't mind it being trained and then maybe having some, but I can't just jump in and take over without knowing how everything works first. Not everything, but a little bit. I think it would be irresponsible of me to just, yeah, I got this, and then show up the first day and be like, I have no idea what to do. I don't think that's wise. So, anyway. And let's see. And I guess I was thinking about some of the comment exchanges recently, or the things I've written and the things that were written back, and my thoughts about how, I don't know, what is the word? Civil. On a colleague kind of level, I think. And I've thought that before. It's kind of like colleagues. People experiencing a similar reality in a different context, in a different situation, but a similar reality. And trying to have some sort of connection, or at least I am, and they're responding back. So, and they have a history, so they know. They have a sense of how I am and how I talk. So they are less offended or surprised by some of the things I say and how I say them, I think. And I have a sense of them and how they speak or write. So I know, or I have a good understanding of what they mean. But, it still feels like I'm the one, initiating, and they are just responding. Whereas, like, I think it would be cool if they were to initiate contact, which they might be doing. I just don't notice it, and they're doing things in a way that I'm not aware of. It does not award me the opportunity to chase back. It's like, I'd like to be chased, sought, kept. Yeah. Yeah, I guess it's the attention thing, but that's not new. So, forgive me my temperance and affection. So, it's like I always feel like I want to be given permission to feel how I do. And because even if it's not reciprocated, I still have, as long as I'm being responsible and just being aware, yeah, it's okay. At least I think it's okay. Because I'm guessing that I've gotten the sense from before, it's like, I don't know. I really don't know them. And I just know that they've had an interesting time in different kinds of relationships with different kinds of people. And I might just not be entirely welcome at this time, in this incarnation, as it is, as it were. So, but I'm just kind of, I don't have anything else going on at the time. You know, I am open, personally. I am available. So if I did meet somebody, I would approach very slowly, because I'd like to get to know people. And I'm not really in a hurry. So, but I kind of like the relationship that I'm kind of already involved in. And it's like, I'd like to know more. And like, is it something to pursue, to investigate, or is it just that friendship? And it's just, that's what it is. That's all that it's wanted. So that's why I say, as far as like status goes, that in a relationship, that still holds. And I think about it from time to time. And I consider it to be okay, because for me, it's an emotional, intellectual, and affectionate relationship. And for me, that's like a form of intimacy. And maybe I'm going about everything incorrectly, because that's not what people do. But I don't think I ever have claimed to be people. So I don't do things the right way. And I'm okay with that. It's like, I don't like it, but it, I'm not good at being a person. And I'm only just getting to be good at being who it is that I am. So I can't be anybody else, and trying to pretend to be like other people, that's just too hard. So the sun is just about to set, and I can't even see the time, because I keep seeing spots from looking at the sun. So anyway, I guess we'll just hang out until it does set. Another minute or two. So just be patient with me. Oh, and I guess the other piece of news, not that it's news really, but I've been paying attention to the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial. I have no idea what it's about. Some sort of abuse. And I don't know if it's like a criminal thing, or slander, or thing, or just for publicity. I have no idea. Or they're just trying to get a legal separation, or a divorce, or I don't know. But it's interesting, and I've been paying attention to some of the different, pop-up social commentary about narcissism, and what was her name? Dr. Sandra Romani, and this other guy that's a body language self-proclaimed expert. Or maybe he is, I don't know, but he has a YouTube channel, and so he's kind of entertaining and informative. But a lot of us, I think, is interpretation is just that, interpretation, and some of it can be a little bit strained, like he's really stretching to make some very tiny observation off of, and maybe it's accurate, I don't know. It seems like when you're trying to get little snippets of information based on little ticks, like micro expressions, it feels like now you're just stretching for content, which is like, yeah, so I get that. And yeah, that's it for the sun. The sun's gone down and the moon's come up. And long ago, someone left with the cup. So I guess it's kind of, now with the lighting, it's still bright on this side, even though the sun has gone down. I guess that's still where the light's coming in. And now it's dark over here, still reflecting light, but it's not direct, bright sun. So that's interesting. It's like, just swung the mirror so it's not reflecting light. It's interesting. Not that it really matters. No one watches these, to at least this far. I think people only watch like the first 30 seconds. So, and I think it's by accident too. But slowly, that little view counter on my entire page of hundreds of videos is I might have 100 total views by the end of this year, and that's fine with me. I mean, I'm sure I could make a fool of myself more so, and like post my channel links here, there, everywhere, and get artificial interest and stuff. But I don't. That's just so much effort, and it's like I just don't care. This is just for my own amusement, and just to hear myself talk and just make little stupid thumbnails and be entertaining to myself, basically. And if somebody happens to watch, it's like, yeah, I'm sorry. It's not for you. Trying to make sense out of this. It's like, good luck. Yeah, I kind of wondered, is there anybody else that does it like this? Just keeps like an online diary kind of thing. It's like, I can't be the only one. It's just those of us that do this sort of thing probably don't. Well, it's private, so you don't put it out there and make it publicly aware of how to find it and who it is. So, but I'm guessing we're out there, just like autistic people. We're out there. We're watching. We're paying attention. We might not even know who we are. So. Anyway, I should go, I suppose. So I'll go do something else for a while and then lay down and sleep for a little bit and then get up and go to work. So I don't know. Cost of living. So I can afford that. Anyway, good night.